Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new Equilinox series. So, we've been playing our Isle of Avalon series for a long time, and I'm gonna get started while I talk here just to kind of get this out of the way. But yeah, so we've been playing our Isle of Avalon series for a while now, and it's been going really well, but we kind of unlocked everything, we kind of did everything, and so we didn't really have a lot left to do here. And so we've moved on to starting challenges, and you guys suggested a lot of cool challenges, and that's the wrong thing. And you guys suggested a lot of cool different challenges that we could do here, and this was one of my favorites. So we're actually going to be doing the World of Wolves challenge, and I'll explain that in a little bit more detail. I kind of took the concept you guys gave me and fleshed it out a little bit. And so I'll be talking about that here, but before we begin, I just want to say that since this is a challenge series, if you are not familiar with Equilinox, you are going to want to watch our Isle of Avalon series first. In that one, we play through the game, we deal with the mechanics, we talk about a lot more about the game itself than we're going to do in this series. This series is kind of assuming that you have a basic knowledge of Equilinox to begin with, and so we're not really going to explain things quite as much as we did in that series. So if you haven't seen that one, if you're not very familiar with Equilinox, you should go check that one out, because that'll give you a lot of context for it. Now, as you may guess by the name, the challenge we have here is to create a world that basically revolves around wolves. And so what we're going to be doing here, I have a set of rules for this. Oh, hang on a sec. I think they like trees. Alright, so we gotta place a couple more trees. I'm trying to get started on all these quests. We're gonna whip through the beginning of the game because we want to get into the heart of the challenge itself. So let's put a couple of sheep in, and then we're gonna go ahead and try and get some wheat in as well. I'm gonna place a lot of well, I'll fast forward for now to get more DP. But yeah, so basically, the challenge, our goals are to create a habitat well-suited to house large populations of wolves. We're also trying to promote diversity within this habitat by placing as many different kinds of flora and fauna as possible, so long as they don't cause the environment to become inhospitable to the wolves. We're also going to populate the region with several distinct wolf packs that are capable of self-sustaining for the foreseeable future. So basically, we should be making sure that the wolves that we're going to place in this world, we're not constantly having to place new packs or whatever. The wolves that we place are the ones that need to stick around and be self-sustaining. Now, we have a few rules to the challenge as well. I'm just checking to make sure we can place this in as we get started on some of this beginning stuff. We're not going to worry too much about the completionist achievement in this series. That was more what we were doing with Isle of Avalon, but we're going to do whatever achievements help us, basically. And this one does give us a lot of DP, so it might actually be worth it. But I'll talk about that more in a moment. We also want to get light blue daisies, so I'm just going to go ahead, we'll selectively breed this one, we'll go light blue, we'll buy that, and that should get us started on that task. We also, okay, we can easily do that one. We just have to go to take control and press E, and we can get the reward for that now. We'll release this little guy, and we'll claim the reward here. We're going to be starting on that one. For the wheat breeder achievement, what do we need? We just need stones. We got to place some more of those down. If we put in a few of them here, this should start to make it better. Okay, we can start getting that one done, and then we'll work on these in a little bit. But yeah, so the rules for the challenge are that the final rule must only consist of biomes that can support wolves. So that's the grassland, the forest, the woodland, and the snow biomes. We may place other biomes in order to unlock tasks if necessary, but we must remove them to complete the challenge. The only exception is for water, which can be any valid biome, because the wolves don't live in water, so it's a moot point. The final world must be as full of biomes as possible. There should be no large barren areas and as few places as possible where the biomes seem thin and the barren land shows through. So like over here there's grassland, but it's not a lot of grassland. We want to avoid that. We want it all to be looking like the area over here where you can see it's in the 80s and hopefully even more than that. Do we have... I'm worried this daisy is gonna die without having a blue one. I'm gonna remove some of these, and hopefully it will reproduce and have a blue daisy there. Because I think it's not going to, is it? Nope, that's great. It's just not going to. It might have reproduced someplace else, but it just died off. Okay, and we also have wheat. We're going to place that here. It should be pretty happy. I just want to see if we have... Well, we can actually check here. Oh, we do have a light blue daisy somewhere. Oh, it's right over here. Okay, so I'm going to clear out all the others around this area. Now, let me continue reading the rules as we're working on this. So, wolves cannot be placed in unsuitable biomes. They must be placed in adequate habitats and at a reasonable altitude. That kind of goes along with the fact that we're only going to have biomes but that can support them in the first place. But in the meantime, if we have other biomes, we can't be putting wolves in them. Prey populations should be large enough compared to wolf packs to be self-sustaining even when predation is taken into account. By the end of the world, we shouldn't have to be constantly replenishing prey animals just to keep the wolves fed. So that is our current set of rules. These may change a little bit or be modified throughout the playthrough depending on if they seem to be working or not. But for the most part, this is what we're going to be going for. Now, I want to place in some more wheat, I think. Just a couple more, maybe. Or, you know what, we need more stones first, because that's good food for the sheep. And I'm going to continue to fast forward here so that this goes by a little more quickly. We can now get the reward for Wheat Breeder. So we're going to just go whipping through this first part here, and we're going to be hurrying through, trying to get it done as quickly as possible because we want to get to the part where we actually work with the wolves. Now, the other thing that I didn't really mention as part of those rules, because it's not really a rule, is that I'm going to be trying to keep as diverse of an ecosystem as possible. And so, like, we have, over here we have this, this blue daisy, and we're going to, like, have different colored plants in different color or in different regions. So like if we make this a little grassland aisle, maybe the daisies over here will be a different color than anywhere else. We're going to be trying to make each region look distinct. And so we're going to be trying to do that as well. Now that's not mandatory, it just is going to look nice. And so we'll be doing color modification and stuff as we go along as well. And hopefully some of that will be in preparation for some of the things that actually need color modification, but we'll see. So this... Did it die? No, we have another one. Okay. It is dying, though. And I'm just going to clear out a lot of these. And hopefully then this one will be the one to reproduce. I want to remove as many of these as possible because evidently... Oh, I removed the wrong thing. Dang it. Evidently it didn't reproduce like I was hoping it would. So I'm going to fast forward. It's going to die pretty soon here. But I'm hoping, yeah, I think it did reproduce, so that's good. I'm going to clear out more of these daisies, and I guess this meadow here will just be where we keep the blue ones. Like I was saying, we want to have kind of different regional flora and fauna with regional traits, and so that might be different colors. And so when I talk about the distinct wolf packs, they're going to be different colors. We're gonna have these distinct features. And that's going to help us kind of identify the regions. This one is a normal one. This one's a normal one. I will move these blue ones around once we have more of them. We just need to get more of them first. So this one should start to reproduce pretty quickly. We've got... This one's fairly healthy, so I'm actually going to transplant that over here. And we just want to make sure that the greater population is going to be the blue ones. So let's transplant this over here. And that should help populate this region. So we'll go ahead, we'll claim this, and we can get, what else do we want to do? We want to get buttercups, we want to get more plants, and we want to get redfish, kelp, and water lily. So we'll start with the water one first. What do we need for kelp? We need a large size trait, so I'm going to actually look at the size. We don't really have the finances to support, how healthy is this one? This is very healthy. That's excellent. We don't really have the size trait, or we don't have the ability to support that. We gotta kind of just speed this up. The fish aren't gonna be super happy. Here we go. We've got one. All we have to do now is place some stones around here. It's easier to do this than it is to, a large rock. So what am I thinking? Okay. I'll leave them there for now. We have, we could do brown rocks. How do we unlock this? Chicken farm. Okay, we'll try and unlock that first. we'll leave these larger ones in. That'll make it easier to breed for them later because we don't really have the money for the actual genetic modification at this point in time. So let's see here. For chickens, we need an area that's grassy, that doesn't have, that doesn't actually have a lot of the, oh, and let me check here. That doesn't have a lot of the trees. So, well, these daisies aren't supposed to be here. This is supposed to be the blue area. We've got some over here. That's what's going on. I'm gonna get rid of all the ones that look like the normal default here, and we'll maybe move some of these around if they're not too dead. They're pretty close to dead. Okay. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to look here because I believe to get buttercups, yeah, all we need is the yellow trait. So if we come over here, we can place down a daisy in this area, and we can have buttercups. We can go ahead, we'll selectively breed for the yellow trait, we'll buy that, and then we'll kind of expand, not with seaweed, we want grass tufts. We'll expand this area out a little bit more, and we'll keep this place more tree-free. So let's place in some stones. And then we'll fast forward, we should start to get more DP. It's crazy to have so little DP. I'm so used to Avalon Isle where we always had way more than, we can get cash again, where we always had way more than we needed. But let's go ahead, and I think we can now place some wheat in over here. Wheat does not have a trait option, like you can't change the color or anything. But we're also going to place in some chickens here, and that wheat should grow up fast enough so that the chickens can eat from it. And now we have yellow daisies over here that we can start working on buttercups with. And then how do we get pansies? If we look here, we need forest, and for tulip, we need more grassland trees. So we can actually work... Oh my goodness, where are these coming from? Ah! We keep somehow having these normal ones that I have to get rid of constantly, but we should be able to have grassland trees here. Yep, we can start working on tulips. And yeah, I think, oh, there's another one. I'm going to get rid of all the ones that I see that are the normal coloration, because again, we want each area to have kind of distinct regional variants of things. And so we want, this will be like the blue area. We'll have the yellow ones over here. And let's go ahead, wait, do buttercups, I need to see this, do buttercups, they spread the woodland biome, so we need to figure out where we're going to put that. We have an area over here where we could put something, because all these tall mountains that are a little bit lighter at top are going to be snow. I think we'll put our woodland biome, where do we want to put it? We'll put it over here. There's a little bit of water, but there's not a lot. But we'll put our woodland biome over here and kind of get that started. So when we have the buttercup in, which we should pretty soon, we got a tulip first. Let's see, I want to look at what the tulip requires first. So it spreads grassland. We can kind of just plunk it down over here. We got a yellow one, so I actually want to change the color on this one, or we'll let it reproduce once first. But let's go ahead and grab this, and we will place it out in this area and let it kind of start spreading the woodland biome. So we got the diversify task complete now. We want to start working on these other ones, so I think we'll start working on the gone fishing task. I just want to, where did it even go? I've lost it. I've lost the tulip. Where did I put it? I wasn't paying enough attention. Oh, it's right here. Okay. I should have put this one someplace else. So let's go ahead and we'll look at our checklist. We'll look at plants. We'll look at tulips if we can find them. So we have one in the world. When that goes up to 2, we're going to transplant the other one and change the color of this one. So when we see it go up to 2 tulips in the world, in fact, I should probably toggle off of this just in case it doesn't update live. Tulips, 1 in the world. Okay, we're going to fast forward a little bit. This is a little bit extraneous. I just want to get started on this while we can. So I don't think it's actually reproduced. It is happy, right? It is happy. So we've got more stuff here. Okay, we have satisfied chickens. That's great. That unlocked the rock. So we can actually place some of these in. And that'll give us the chance to work with the kelp. So if we look at what are these, we can start, we'll just start it here. We're going to have to switch it off because, there's one, okay. This one, we're going to go ahead, we will selective breed for natural color 2. We can't afford that, okay. We'll let these spread a little bit. And then, okay, it has died, so we're going to put in another one. We can continue, no we can't. We can continue with this one, nope. We need a better size trait, so let's look at which ones have a good size trait. I'm going to remove all the ones that do not. This one, this should be good, right? Yes, we can continue with that. We have a 107. I'm going to remove all the inferior size trait ones. Hopefully the fish aren't too unhappy about that. We just need to make sure we can finish getting the kelp here. So we also have enough now. I'm going to look at the tulips. So this one's dying. This one we can transplant over here. I guess I could have technically just placed one down, which would probably have been the better option. But let's look over here now. I'm going to selectively breed this one. And we should be able to have a lot of natural color. Oh, why don't we have enough now? I guess I just transplanted the one. That's what's going on. So we got to find if there's another one in this area, which there should be. Yep, there's one right over there. So I'm going to remove that one. We'll take this one. We'll go ahead, selective breed. Now we can get natural color 2. And that'll kind of stick with the blue color theme that we have for this area. We also have kelp, which should go down here and be fairly happy. We can place some more of that in once we have more DP. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. And we're just going to go flying through this. Okay, all of these need to go away. That's tulips as well. Because, do we still have the one? Yeah, we have the one we're selectively breeding here. It's still pretty healthy too. We want to get that one to be the one to spread the tulips around. And that's a daisy. Yeah, it should do that. It'll be fine. I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm going to just keep fast forwarding here. And we should, before too long, we can place in some more kelp. I'm going to place a little bit more of that. We'll place it close enough that it should still have its liked species. I'm going to place another rock farther down so we can kind of spread this farther. And then we're going to need to start working on water lilies and stuff. I'm going to try to make more of a conscious effort to preserve the natural mutations that sometimes pop up. Because if you lose them, you can't get them back, basically. And so I'm going to be making a big effort to keep those preserved. So seaweed, we want redfish. So for redfish, we need the color of pink, I believe. Yes, and we need kelp. So you are pretty good. I'm going to go ahead, we'll selectively breed, we will go with pink, which we can't actually afford, never mind. We'll give it a little bit more time, and then I'll see which one of these is going to be the healthiest, and we'll remove all the others so that we have a pink trout that will produce redfish, and then we'll place other colors of trout in elsewhere. Okay, we have enough here. This one should be good, so we'll go ahead, we will selectively breed for the pink color, and we'll remove the other trout so that this one is the only one that will produce. No, I didn't want that. I clicked the wrong thing. Okay, we'll remove this guy. All right. Now we should have pink trout before too long. They usually reproduce fairly quickly. Oh, and by the looks of it, yes. And yes, nope, not enough DP. Never mind. We gotta wait a little bit longer. And again, we're just going to fly through these tasks as fast as possible. So what other tasks do we have? We're working on gone fishing. I think for water lily, we need to have redfish, right? Yes. And so we can't finish that right now. We can work on this probably, or we can also work on this because these come from oak trees, right? So what do we need for an elm tree? Or sycamore. So we need herbs and we need 30% woodland. So let's take an oak tree. We'll plunk it down in our woodland area that's starting here. And when we have enough DP for that, we'll kind of plop this down here. It's not super happy, but it should be happy enough for our needs. And okay, so we have our first redfish. We just need to place it down in this area. It should still be happy. Yeah, it's fine. And now all the trout in this area are going to be pink. Don't worry, we'll put in other colors elsewhere and continue with that. So let's come back over here. We want this tree to grow up, and we are going to be ending the episode pretty soon here. but I want to get through this as quickly as possible so that we can get to the point where we can actually add the wolves and start playing around with them as quickly as possible. So we'll let this tree grow a little bit more, and we should be able pretty soon to... Okay, it's not 30% woodland is the problem here. That could be a little bit difficult. Is it better now? No, we need to place in more buttercups. So let's place this here. If we put in 2 more, that should be enough, right? Yeah, now we can get elm tree. And the herbs, we can also start working on oregano. So what I'm going to do here is to get oregano, I believe it comes from grass. We need mushrooms and we need a color trait of mud green. And so we have a nice... We'll start working on that on this island. We'll make this island a little bit of its own ecosystem. So we'll place 1 grass tuft down, and we'll start getting the trait of mud green here. So that takes a lot of DP, actually. I didn't mean for... we might have to remove some grass. We might have to not use this as our breeding organism here. So let's go ahead and wait a little bit more. I think I'm going to go with this one. So if we can selectively breed for mud green, we can buy that. And then I will remove all of these carefully. And there we go. So now this one should produce only mud green ones, and it'll kind of make this area distinct. We can place down the trees there as well. Let's see how this one is doing. It has stopped, so let's place some buttercups in. Will that help? It should come back. Oh, we have a buttercup mutation already. Ooh, it's actually, it's like a brown one. Okay, we're going to transplant this when we have the money for it and move it someplace else, because we're going to try and preserve this. Thankfully, this is a particularly hardy kind of plant, and it'll be just fine if we plop it down right over there. Oh, come on. Okay, there we go. It should be able to continue now. It's having a little bit of trouble. It'll be easier once we actually have the trees. Alright, come on. Let's place in some more buttercups here, and that should keep it. I'm kind of just spamming them at the moment, but you kind of have to do that at this stage somewhat. So, oh boy. Come on. It should be close. It's just kind of wavering in and out there. Now, the other thing that I want to do over here, what trees do we still need to get? We have apple trees we can't do here. From birch trees, we can get wobbly trees. But we'll be doing that here. Red maples needs to be red and above 35. And for pagoda trees, we need to have them over the sunflower, or we have to have them by sunflowers. So we'll place in some of these. Do they spread grassland biome? I believe so. No, they don't actually. So we should put some daisies here as well to help with that. Let me place them in. I think we can just keep natural color here because I think we've already unlocked everything. No, we haven't. We have pansies, but those have to be in the forest. So we'll just place natural color daisies out here to help. And then from tulips, do tulips give us anything? Bluebells, which we need a color trait of purple, and roses, which we need a color trait of red, and they have to be in the woodland. So let's place tulips. Do they spread grassland biome? They do. And so I'm gonna wait until we have a little bit more, because how much does it cost to get red or purple? If we look here, we go here, to get purple, and to get red is 18. Okay, so we're gonna save up a bit more. In fact, maybe we'll just wait to place those in. But I want to put in an oak tree over here or I want to put in more birch trees, because in order to get oregano, we need to have mushrooms. But mushrooms like trees. That's what I was doing here. So we'll play for a little bit more, just a tiny bit. We'll try and get oregano here. And that should let us do it when we have enough DP for it. Which now we do. And then we can move that oregano over to the... because I believe, does oregano spread... It spreads woodland biome. So we'll add that to the area, and that should enable us to get the sycamore tree as well. And hopefully by then, yes, the elm tree. So this will make it this will make it easier, because we can actually spread the biome a lot better now. And so will the oregano. So we're going to come over here, we'll finish up with that, and then I think we'll go ahead and wrap up the episode once we've placed that in, because it is about that time again. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this, and again, like I said, you have submitted a lot of cool challenge ideas. I certainly don't want World of Wolves to be the only challenge we do. I'm going to be picking up and taking a look at some of the others after we're done with this one, but for now, this is going to be the one we focus on for a few weeks at least here. So let me know if you guys like the series, or if you have any ideas for the challenge. I'm going to put a Google document in the description talking about the challenge, so if you guys want to read the rules, and if you guys want to see the more and learn more about the challenge, if you want to follow along or whatever, you guys will be able to do that. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this episode here for today, because it is about that time again. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. But until then, this is Jay, over and out.